Aloha, Rich Halverson here. This is ICS211, summer 2024, and this is the introductory video. And in this video, I'm just going to help you get started. So let me share my screen. Share this one. Okay, so in this class, we're going to be using the new learning management system called Brightspace. It's designed and supported by D2L. I'm not sure what that even stands for, but but we call it Lamaku. So if you go to lamaku.hawaii.edu, you should get a login screen. Let me see if I can show you what it looks like without it. What happens if I go here? Lamaku.hawaii.edu, and it looks like, oh, I guess I'm already logged in. All right. Well, anyway, okay, so it looked like this, and you click on here and you do your regular University of Hawaii login, and then you come to a screen that looks like this. And now I think it looks like this. So this is my student mode of viewing this, and so I don't know how well this works, but anyway, so um, I'm not uh, I'm still learning about all the features, so this is what's important. First of all, Brightspace Help is good. Click there and you can get videos and so on how to use Brightspace, but hopefully we won't need to look there too much. Down here, there should be like courses, and I'm not sure what yours looks like, but maybe it just looks like this. So you click on it. And then it looks like this, and you have this. Okay, so if you click on this on the University of Hawaii icon at the top, you always go back to your home, and this is excluding the this is the very outside of choosing any course. Presumably, eventually, you're going to have many courses in your Lamaku, um, but and so once you're in the course, if you click on the course heading right here, that brings you back to this page, and this page is more or less the home page for the course. Well, I'm just using content and assignments and quizzes so far. And we'll be using grades. I don't know what all this other stuff is, but okay, so let's click on content. And if you click on course overview right here, this is the syllabus. Okay, so it's content, course overview. This is the syllabus. And this is the textbook. Okay, so another way you can get to the textbook is on the left here, you should be able to click this textbook link. It should be below the table of contents, and then you should be able to click this link right here, and that should open up a new browser window, and you'll see the textbook. Okay, now before you are able to log into the until you've paid, when you go to the textbook, it's going to look like this. And so here it wants you to pay, but you are able to see the first chapter. There's not really too much in the first chapter. Any work that you do in the first chapter, it's not going to be retained. And I'm not sure. I don't think it is retained when you pay. I think you may have to do it over again, but I'm not sure. Anyway, and so I'm going to be using this. So after you pay, then you get all the chapters, and I'll go through this in a moment. Let's go back to Brightspace. So I talked about content. There's assignments, and this course is it's got a lab. It's a 4-credit course, so it's got a lab associated along with it, and all of the lab assignments are in here under assignments. Okay, so there's 8 labs that you have to do, and there's a TA that'll be grading those, and you'll do those in Visual Studio Code and so on, and they're not that big a deal. They're just coding assignments. And then now there's a quizzes thing here, and you need to take this I want you to take this participation verification quiz. You go in here, and you answer two questions, and one is like what you want your grade to be or what you're shooting for, and then also the second question is if at the end you don't have that grade, you know, what do you want to do? Do you want it incomplete, or do you want to just take the grade that you get, or ask me at the time, or whatever. So this is just information for me. If you're graduating, if you need this course because you needed to graduate this at the end of this term or something, then of course you're not going to want the incomplete. You're just going to want the passing grade and so on. All right, so that's quizzes. That's the only quiz that I am planning so far. There's grades here, and this is where we're going to upload the grades. And so I'll go over this, but these all come from the textbook. These are chapters in the textbook, participation activities, challenge activities from the textbook, and these lab programming assignments from the textbook. This is separate from the fourth credit lab that you're going to do with Visual Studio Code. These are all textbook things here. Okay, and then here are the Visual Studio Code assignments, and you actually they all start in the textbook. If you go to chapter 20, these are all starting programs for your labs, and this is nice because then you'll start out with some working code, um, getting it running on this thing. But then there's going to be some enhancement that you have to do, some additional. All right, so now I just want to okay, so that's that's everything. There's not anything else here. Okay. I also want to point out to you that I I do I do have the course posted on Laulima. Okay, so what this is for is I don't want you're having a new learning management. You've all used Laulima. You're all coming from Laulima, okay? And so we're doing this cutover to a new system, and I had a clever graphic here. It's systems analysis and design. If you're an IT person, you'll take programming. You'll take a course talks about this. There are four basic ways to cut over from an old system to a new system. There's the pilot system strategy, and I think we're kind of doing this sort of the university as a whole. But this immediate cutover, that's what they're expecting you to do in this class. Okay, you come from Lima, you're going to cut right over to this new system without any sort of phased over transition time. I prefer this parallel cutover. So I have gone through the easy work of also setting the course up in Laulima. So you should all be able to go log into Laulima, and you should be able to see, you click on the course up at the top, and you see the overview here, and this is the syllabus. And there's going to be the textbook link right here. So this logs you into the textbook. There's these lab assignments are here. This is 1 through 8, just like before. Grade book classic should mirror exactly what we see over here in Lamaku. Should be exactly like that. Where is it? This one? Yeah, grades. So the percentage and weights and all that. All right. So oops. All right. So I just wanted to point that out. But I'm eventually gonna like force you to go over to Lamaku because there's gonna be some stuff you'll be able to get on Lamaku that you probably won't be able to get on on uh Lima, because we're supposed to be transitioning over to that. But I don't want you to cause you stress like it's assignments due. It's the end of the semester. You gotta get everything in, and you can't find the description of the assignment or something, and so you're able to see it in two places. All right, so let's go back over to the syllabus, and that would be under content, under course overview right here. And I talked about the textbook. These are the objectives and so on. So there's going to be, let's go right down to the grades here. There's going to be there are these participation activities, there are challenge activities, and there are these Xylabs in the textbook. You got to do them all in the textbook. Okay, the auto graded, you get, and I have it set up so you can submit as many times as you want. You can do incremental development, just change one thing at a time and gradually get to the solution. And so that's those. And so this is out of 75% of the course. It's a 4 credit class. So 3 credits is the textbook, this theory stuff, and submitting these things. These are kind of like quizzes, except for you can take them as many times as you want. Second time you take them, it's gonna be different. So they got a bunch of them in there. So it's like most of the time it's that way. And then labs, these you can submit as many times as you want, but some of you might not get all of them because some of them can be kind of hard. Now these lab assignments, this is supposed to take place of that extra credit, and here's where you get you get experience sort of in a real, more like you would out at a job. So I want you to use Visual Studio Code, integrated development environment, which is probably what you'll use. Good chance that's what you'll use when you go out in the real world, if you have a choice. And I also want you'll be enhancing the program. And I want you to make a short video, like 1 minute or just a short video saying, okay, I'm, Joe Schmo, and this is my assignment. And you see, this is my code. And here, when I run the assignment, this is what it looks like. Thank you very much. And that's just so I can see, so we can see that it's your code, you're running the code. First time you do it, I'd like you to show us a picture of you. This has to do with, for these online classes, we have to do something. We have to do something so we know that it's actually you. Okay, so and no one's going to see this except for me and the TA, unless our records get subpoenaed or something, which is not going to happen. But we're just going to do this to follow the rules, and so I only need to see what you look like once. So the first video, or you do that, and then the rest of the videos you just have your voice, and they can be dumb. There can be. I don't care how it is. I just want to, see it, and no one else is going to see it. So you don't have to worry about being embarrassed or anything. All right. So that's the lab assignments. All right. So now if you go to the textbook, you'll notice that, okay, I have it clicked in reporting mode, and so you can see if you open up these chapters, they're the Xylabs. These are the labs. They look like this, where you actually have to, where you type in some code. There's some code, and you run it, and you have a console here, and all this and that. Okay, so this is how the labs are going to be, and at the end you submit, and you submit for grading, and you can submit as many times as you want. However many times you need to get the points that you want to get. Okay, now some of these are optional, so you're not going to get any points for optional, okay? And also, chapters 1 through 7, you're not going to get any points doing the participation activities. That's ICS211. You should know all this stuff for good, and all these optional things, but some of these are just had a couple of challenges put in there because it's just basic stuff. And basically what it is some of you may be coming over from a different programming language like Python. And so these little challenge activities are there that sort of are more or less kind of specific to the language, to the Java language itself. And you may have to you very likely may refer back to the other sections of the chapter to see how it is. But basically, chapters 1 through 7 are this, you should know those already, and the challenge activities just sort of test to make sure that you and of course you can submit as many times as you want, so you get all the points. And then the labs are just simple labs, which again should be very easy for you. You may have done them already, and it just gets you acclimated to the Java programming language. Then starting with chapter 8, that's when I think it's real important that we want to emphasize in ICS211, objects and classes. and all the different abstract data types that Java supports, and the terminology is different than in Java than in Python or in other languages. But these concepts, object and classes, that's universal in all languages today. Inheritance is universal in all languages today, but there's sort of the Java way of doing it. There's the Java way of talking about it. And so that's what we're learning here. And here you do get points for clicking through these participation activities. Okay, what that kind of means is that you have to click through the participation activities to get all the points. And so basically so you have to read it. You might as well read it. You can just click, click, click if you want to and not even pay attention. That's kind of because you're only cheating yourself. So while you're clicking through and you're waiting for this thing to clicking go double speed or something, pay attention and kind of see what's going on, see what they're trying to explain to you. And you get you get these concepts, you click through this stuff, and these quizzes, of course, you can in starting in chapters 8, these count, and so you want to get all the points and so on. All right, so and so that's starting in chapter 8. Chapter 8, it starts to become important, and then here we get into a lot of the stuff that this course is supposed to emphasize: exceptions and generics and collections, and then some of the algorithms, searching and sorting algorithms, analysis of algorithms, being able to the order of complexity. That's important. That's getting more into the theoretical side. Trees, heaps, and hash tables. So all right, so that's basically it for this class. Let's see, what else was I going to show you? Let's go back to this. Okay, grading policy, if it's auto-graded, then it's not so urgent that you get the auto-graded stuff done by these due dates, okay? Because whenever we upload the grades from Zybooks to either Lamaku or Laulima, whenever we upload the grades, we will go all the way back to the beginning, okay? And we won't deduct any points if you do nothing until the Thursday before the Friday of the last day of class, and then boom, you do everything and you get them all up there and you get all the points. You're not going to be deducting any points, or I wouldn't recommend that, but you get my point. Now, the lab part where there's a human involved in grading it, that's a different story. Okay, there you're dealing with the schedule of the person that's doing the grading. And that's not only me, but it's also the TA. So the TA is going to come up with a policy on that, and that'll be his policy. And basically, it's he needs to have time. Now, I'm going to encourage him to accept late work, but there could be a drop dead deadline because like he wants to have everything that he's going to grade by the last week of class, or the last 3 days of class. This is a shortened class. Certainly by the last day of class, because then he has the weekend. The grades have to be submitted on the Tuesday following the last day of class. So we have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to finish up our grading. Okay. So that's the schedule, and I don't know what he's under no obligation to make his time available on the last that weekend or anything. He may want everything done beforehand. So in that case, these deadlines, like lab program 1, it says due today, or I announce it up here and I say when it's due, and then I announce it here on the day it's due. And then this is the second lab program, which is due July 10th. And then on July 10th, I say it's due, and so on. So that's what those are. Those you need to pay more attention to. And if you're going to be delayed with those, then you want to contact the TA to make sure that he knows. The thing about it is when you're grading things like this, where it's even if we were going but using an exact rubric that's unambiguous, it's still you sit down and you start grading things. And then after about 5 of them that you grade, you go back and you say, okay, no, I should have counted this. I should have counted this differently. I didn't realize that they could have gotten this wrong. And then you redo it and you start at the beginning and you go all the way to the end. And so because you need to be consistent. You can't give somebody no points for something and then later on you decide to start giving some points because you feel differently about it. Okay, so it's got to be consistent. Well, the problem with it is there's going to be people who do hand stuff in on time, and they're going to want their stuff graded. You understand that? But then people who don't hand their stuff in, they hand it at the very end. The grader has got to go back and try to remember what the thinking was back when you graded it the first time. Okay. And so that's the problem. You're not consistent. Because you're grading at 2 different times and you probably graded stuff in between then, you're not consistent and you want to be consistent. So that's the reasoning there. Auto grading, though, no problem. You just download the scores, upload them, and that's it. All right. So I think I've explained everything that you need for this course. Uh, So if you have any questions, just email me, richardh@hawaii.edu, or texting is also another good way to get hold of me. Okay. Thanks for watching.